What's good, everyone, and welcome in to episode 2 of the Chris Rouse Show. I'm your host, Chris Rouse, coming to you from my hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Remember, just recently started my own show talking about sports or whatever. It's the Chris Rouse Show. I talk about whatever I want. But this the video debut, man. This the first time I'm gonna have a video version. And I had to go get Joe Gregory, man, my co-host from Students of the Game, my homie from Joe with Joe. So once again, welcome in everybody, Joseph Gregory.
So thank you. I know that's what I'm saying. I'm not finna say something about it. I know you got it in your budget. I know you got the budget for it. You're just choosing not to get one. But what's going on? I'm proud to be here. You know, this inaugural stuff. I'm Joe, the Chris Rouse Show.
Yeah, man.
This is your show, so I just sit back. I might have to bring me some wings next time. You're gonna say, it's early enough for wings. Second day of the tournament, I should have bought me some wings and some blue cheese or something.
Hey man, kick back, relax. I mean, yourself, man. I know sometimes you can get animated, man. Feel free to curse. Just keep it limited so I don't lose sponsors. I don't have none yet, but I still
okay.
Shout
out to anybody that's considering sponsorship on any of our shows here, including this show, on this platform or whatever. I'll try not to
make it happen. Yeah, we trying to make it happen, man. But like you said, man, March Madness yesterday, man. Let me get your day one impressions, man. What stood out to you the most? What were some of the trends you noticed on March Madness, day one of March Madness?
Well, before I get to March Madness, let me tear the label off my water because I don't want to, mess up the sponsors or anything. So it's just regular water to anybody that's
business.
Looking, business first.
Businessman, bro.
What stood up to me really was, I guess, the amount of close games it was. Saw a lot of teams hanging around. Even the 1 seed Georgia State tried to hang around before Gonzaga finally pulled away from them. But I guess the amount of close games. I picked Arkansas and I picked Providence to get upset in the first round. They were challenged by Vermont, and they were challenged by South Dakota State, but they were able to hold on, able to survive and advance. And I guess, of course, the 5-12 trend, right? That always happens every tournament. Didn't fail here. He told me about the New Mexico State Aggies. Told me to look out for them. Somebody should have told you, Con. That was a close game.
I picked it. I picked that, man. So any of the 5-12s? Was that the only 5? Did you pick any of the 5-12s?
No, actually, I knew Richmond could be dangerous for Iowa. I just thought that Iowa was going to be able to survive and advance. Of course, they wouldn't. They lose 67-63. Jacob Gilliard with the big second half. And also, hey, how about that big non-call on the shot by Chris Murray, man? I mean, you got to call that, right? You foul him all on the wrist. I mean, come on, man. What is the referee looking at right here?
I
told you Monday about the coaches bitching about blown calls, and that was a blown call in a big part of that game.
Now, let me ask you this. One of the teams coming into the tournament that I thought was worth looking out for was Michigan. Let me get your thoughts on Michigan's game against Colorado State.
I thought they took a while to get that footing. When I saw that Colorado was starting so many juniors and seniors, and I think they started 3 juniors, a senior, and a grad. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of experience. And what did they do? They got right up on Michigan like 28-13. I was like, oh boy, here we go. But Michigan found their footing. Got down to around about 7 points at halftime, and it really just came out in the second half. Freddie Collins, man, he put on a real display, man. Really led them back, led the charge. Lund Dickerson and Sarah finishing with 21 points. So proud of the Wolverines, man. Proud of the Wolverines. Way to come back. And no matter what's like, they was going to take a whole big L until San Diego State came up later. But the conference was having a tough time. With Wyoming in the first 4, Boise State getting popped by Memphis, and again, they were talking about. So,
you know what I thought was a major trend in the tournament yesterday? I thought we saw a lot of games yesterday that, even though, like you said, we saw a lot of good games because we saw 3 overtime games with Creighton, San Diego State. The Murray State San Francisco game was probably the best game I saw yesterday, and then St. Peter's versus Kentucky. But we also saw a lot of blowouts. Like St. Mary's rolled Indiana. The 1 seeds did what the 1 seeds were supposed to do. Tennessee, I thought, had the most impressive win from a
even
team.
more than Carolina. How about us?
Yeah, I thought.
What about Carolina?
Hey, give me your thoughts on North Carolina, man.
I mean, man, Mr. Love, where's the love? Where's the love? Caleb
What
Love. Did you see Caleb Love shoot that thing yesterday? Did you see?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw
Man,
it.
where's the love? And
I
box,
also saw Brady
Armando
Manic too.
Bacot. Yeah, Brady Manic. Him and Bacot just controlling the boards. Bacot in particular. I don't even know how many boards he finished with. You may have to help me and enlighten me on that. But I know one thing. That's a good Marquette team. And that game was over within like the first 10 minutes. Like they just kept showing it in a little box. And I just kept going to myself while I was watching the other game. Like, damn. I remember getting to like 11 to 10. And then like Marquette was like stuck on 10 for like a long time. And North Carolina was up 21 to 10. Then it was 25 to 10. The boxes kept going up 31 to 11. And 37 13.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we doing that Marquette like that? And it was like, wow, really overwhelming.
But you know what? I actually picked Marquette to win that game. I thought we would see some of the defense from Marquette come out. So I was impressed with Caleb Love. North Carolina continues to roll. They had the big win over Duke. But I thought Tennessee's win was more impressive. I know they were playing Longwood, but the assist to field goal ratio, like I actually sat and watched all 40 minutes of that game. And I saw the 13-0 run. Like it was a 12-point game. I went to the back room. Tennessee was up 25. I was like, man, I was only going like 2 minutes. But, and that, so that was an impressive. That was an impressive run with Fulkerson and Ziegler, the way they led Tennessee. But
that's the thing with these heavyweight teams playing against these mid majors. The spurt ability, the game can get away from them so fast. Like you saw with Gonzaga and Georgia State, he was looking like, dang, Georgia State gonna be there for a minute. Next thing you know, you turn your back. It's a regular 20-point spread, like a 16 is supposed to be doing a 1. So, man, the spurt ability. So you're getting ready for Ohio State and Loyola, just not starting. I see you looking around the corner. Like I'm looking around the corner.
I'm definitely like I'm checking the game. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on. But we gonna break this down. We're gonna get out of here quick, man. We're gonna get right into March Madness. Let's talk about St. Peter's, man. That's the big story yesterday. They beat number 2 Kentucky 85-79. Overtime win for the Peacocks. They beat the Wildcats.
Man, the Peacocks.
Let me get your thoughts on St. Peter's. The 15 beats the 2.
Man, them kids hung in there. They backcourt, man. I'm trying to do them guys some justice. I was just reading about them a little bit after I was watching the game last night. Eater, the guy off the bench.
Eater had a huge game.
Huge game off the bench. Huge game. And Banks doing all the scoring and the point guard. I'm trying to get his name down pat before I say it. I'm looking it up. Please bear with me.
No, take your time, man. Why you do that? Let me do this for you. What's your thoughts on Oscar Tshiebwe? I thought he was a National Player of the Year candidate. What were your thoughts on his performance? Because I didn't think he played bad. I just thought St. Peter's rose to the challenge. I thought St. Peter's realized.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
Kentucky choked. I think St. Peter's played good, played great.
Yeah, he played. Look at that laugh again. The kids was crying. Then you was laughing the next thing.
Oh, the kid.
Did you see the picture with the kid and his mother and she was crying?
So,
but Tshiebwe is a beast. He's a beast. He was 11 to 16. He had 30 points. He did what he's supposed to do. But I mean, down the stretch, particularly in overtime, Wheeler. Now, he had 11 points and everything, but he missed 2 big free throws. He missed 2 huge free throws in that overtime. And then Mitz came right behind him and split. And that was right I think when Eater hit his 3 and then drove in for the 2. Looked like Kentucky can pull away in overtime. They could have extended their lead in overtime, but instead they let St. Peter's hang around, man. Them Peacocks, man. You got to give them credit. And Kentucky also, if you shoot 4 out of 15 from 3-point range, like Iowa shot 6 out of 29 from 3-point range against Richmond, you let these teams hang around, and you don't shoot the ball well, you can be a one-day stay at the Holiday Inn or Marriott or wherever they got you staying in, wherever you at. You can be checking out at 12 o'clock the next day, brother.
Hey, I was not trolling. What I want to say, I was not trolling. I was out with my good broadcast partner Sam Brief. We were watching this game at a restaurant we went to last night. We were out with our respective misses, and we was watching the game. And St. Peter's, man, they outplayed Kentucky, man. It was a great ball game. Oscar Tshiebwe played well. I like Kentucky, but I have to give St. Peter's credit. But one thing, I promise I'm going to show you some trolling. I promise I'm not trolling. I thought it was funny how they were showing like some of the little kids crying in the crowd. Like, why you showing the little kids in the crowd crying, man? Like
They did it. They did it. They did it. It started.
but the little kids, come on, man.
It started showing the kids when they showed the girl in the little Colorado State game in the first game of the day. Colorado State and Michigan. They showed the little girl over there with the braids with her hands on her face like that. And that was really like the trend all day. They showed kids. They showed the Richmond kids being happy when they beat Iowa. They showed the Iowa kids. Then you do some buzzer beaters, some heartbreakers to be, man, it's tough. The finality of it.
You want to see some trolling?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
St. Peter's.
Verify us.
The St. Peter's tweet after they beat Kentucky yesterday.
Shut up.
Added Twitter and said, verify us.
Verify us. How about
Peacocks
that?
MBB. At Peacocks MBB, St. Peter's men's basketball. They said, verify us.
Peacocks. You know,
oh, man.
More famous than the NBC Peacock right now is the St. Peter's Peacock. Flip the bracket.
You think I'm trolling? Do you think they were doing the most? You think they were doing the most there?
I mean, no. They don't know any better. This is their first win ever in the tournament. And this is monumental. You know, people gonna remember this, talking about this in 15 years, 25 years. Remember the year 22 when Kentucky lost the number 2 seed. You know, you want a history now. You're like the 10th or 11th 2 seed to lose. So yeah, it's a big deal. You beat Kentucky in Indianapolis. The whole reason I thought Kentucky had a chance to win, because they always start off in Indianapolis, not too far from home. And man, they didn't get it done. I mean, John Morant, now that was trolling. Now John Morant, that was trolling. Saying at least one team for Kentucky.
I don't think that was true. I don't think that was trolling. I don't think that was trolling because Ja was tweeting throughout the entire game. So I don't think he was like Ja was like throughout the game. Because he was even like, this game is lit, but we need to get this win. He was a Murray State, you know. He was a homer. Yeah. He was in homer mode. I don't blame him for that.
He said at least one team from Kentucky. He was like, damn. Hey, it make you realize that Murray State in Kentucky, and then one team from Kentucky did win, and that was Murray State. Another team is checking out their hotel. Should be checking out Eastern time. They should be checking out right now. Getting close to 12 o'clock. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Tupac checkout time.
No, that's 12 o'clock, man.
I like that. Hey, you know that's one of my favorites.
You got the lead.
All right, since we're talking about St. Peter's and John Morant possibly doing the most on social media, let's go to my new segment on this show. Something I want to try called Doing the Most. So, so in this segment, I just want you to answer with the answer that you believe in the most. First question on Doing the Most. Which day one upset winner is most likely to reach the Sweet 16? Michigan, Richmond, also New Mexico State, and St. Peter's. Of those four.
Richmond. I think Richmond is most likely. I think because I love Gilliard in the backcourt, man, and guard combination. I also like Burton on the wing. He's underrated. Golden inside. They got some size to try to deal with Nate Watson in there. So I think Richmond. I would say Richmond.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna say New Mexico State because
I figured you would.
You know, no, not just because I saw them in person. Even though that win yesterday was pretty good against UConn, and I ain't gonna lie, me and Sam were cheering. We were cheering for New Mexico State because we'd be like, Chicago State be the tournament team. You know, we can do that, but Teddy Allen, man, I think he's an amazing player. I've been saying that all year on our broadcast. So
yeah. He was almost doing the most with all that talking. We kept giving him the peace signs and everything toward the end of the game. The referee had to keep telling him, Teddy, calm down. Hey, Teddy, calm down.
Serge Jabari Rice. Serge Jabari Rice is really good as well. But also Arkansas, even though their win was convincing, they don't let that 4-point win fool you. Vermont was hitting shots early. Arkansas kept them at arm's length. I still don't think that was a convincing enough win. So I can see New Mexico State coming in and getting another upset here. All right. Next question. Which one seed is facing the most alarming second round matchup? Baylor with North Carolina. I think that's probably what you're gonna pick.
Easily.
Gonzaga with Memphis.
I'm not gonna say easy.
And Creighton.
I mean, Creighton is dangerous. I think Memphis turns the ball over too much, and their guard play is a little bit too inconsistent for them to really challenge Gonzaga for the whole game. I think they can challenge for parts of the game, for a little bit of the game before Gonzaga pulls away. Probably like they pulled away against Georgia State last night. But yeah, Baylor definitely has the most alarming second round matchup. You're dealing with a team that's not going to be intimidated. You know, we talk about a true heavyweight in their own right that's playing some of their best basketball of the year. I'm talking about size. The only thing that's worried about me with North Carolina is they don't have the most depth. But they depend a lot on their starting five against a Baylor team that kind of comes at you in waves. That's the only problem, the only thing I can see that alarms me a little bit against Baylor. But we're ready to get them. Go Tar Heels. We're ready to get them.
Go Tar Heels. I can't lie. Caleb Love did have a hell of a game. I think Armando Bacot is an NBA player. I don't know if it's this year or next year though, because he did try to declare last year, and then I think he went back. But I'm gonna go with Memphis and Gonzaga, man. I think Gonzaga. I mean, Memphis was playing with a lot of heart yesterday, man.
And I mean, Jalen Duren.
And that was a blowout. That was a blowout.
He's a beast inside, but damn, you got to deal with Timmy and Hogan. I mean, damn. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But I also think if Memphis can shoot the ball the way they did yesterday, Imani Bates had a three that really sparked Memphis. I mean, they were already winning, but I think that sparked them to the blowout. So I think Memphis, if they can hit some shots, I got them against Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga has the most alarming second round matchup.
I might have said Creighton versus Kansas until the Kokemeyer injury late in that game last night when they were playing, when they were coming back against San Diego State. That was a huge injury for their big man. They would have needed him against McCormick inside the next round against Kansas.
Which individual had the most memorable day one performance? Anybody that you could think of. First one in your mind, the one that really stood out to you. Who you got?
It wasn't. I don't know if the first four actually counts as day one, but Tanner Holden went off. You know, he went off.
Yeah.
Was it 37 points? He went off. Your guy went off also, probably right there with him. Allen. New Mexico State. I was watching him last. Yeah, I was watching him like, wow. About Boye also from San Francisco. Jamari Boye had 36 last night. She had 30 in a loss. So there's a lot of guys that was putting up some pretty good astro numbers. But I'm gonna go with Tanner Holden from the Horizon League. You know, they beat Brian up pretty good. I don't know if it's probably gonna be their one shining moment. I don't know how much of a chance I give them against a very talented Arizona squad later on today, but man, it's going down.
I'll go with Jamari Boye. I can't lie. I stayed up to watch the end of that one because I was tired, man. I stayed up to watch the end of the Murray State San Francisco game. Went to overtime. Boye had 36, and then he was scoring. It was a vast array of scoring, bro. He was scoring at every level, getting layups, turnaround jumpers, threes. It was impressive. It was fun to watch. So I thought that was the most memorable day one performance. We're gonna get out of here shortly. But before we do that, I mean, obviously we're going to get out of here to go watch day two of the tournament. But before that, let's preview it a little bit. Most intriguing day two matchup for you?
Today?
Yep.
Most intriguing matchup? I want to say Michigan State and Davidson.
Okay.
I picked Davidson to win this game. But we already know that this isn't the normal Michigan State star-studded lineup, but for some odd reason, Tom Izzo always has them playing their best basketball this year. Davidson can really shoot the ball in the backcourt with Lawyer and Lee, but Big Ten defense is something different. So that's a very intriguing matchup to 7-10 in the West that I'll be looking at today.
I'm going to go with you on 7-10, but I'm going to go with Ohio State Loyola. I think Loyola is going to pull the upset, so to speak. Over Ohio, 7-10. Like, how much is it? How much is that really an upset?
Not a lot. Not a lot
it's not really much of an upset. But that's why I think it's the most intriguing matchup because I like EJ Liddell, and I think Ohio State has a chip on their shoulder. But Loyola is really good, and then also they have something to prove getting ready to go into the A10 next season. So I think Loyola is going to have another run. Also, they got the kid Williamson that's been playing really well this season. So I got them getting past Ohio State. Oh, another one. I was glad you mentioned Tanner Holden earlier. State, Arizona. I think that could be a really interesting game, man. If Tanner Holden can get to 25 and maybe they can knock some shots down. They got Grant Basile. Maybe they can be the number 16's last stand.
That's the whole thing. That's another one of these teams with the multiple bigs. You get these teams with multiple bigs is pretty tough in the realm of college basketball. As long as they get solid guard play, I mean, I think they can give Arizona a run for a little while, but Arizona's pretty tough in that backcourt too. Who's gonna stop Mathurin?
Yeah, possible national player of the year, Benedict Mathurin. Which team competing on day 2 is under the most pressure? And it's a lot of them out there, man. You got Duke with Coach K's last season, Illinois trying to get that choker stink off of them. LSU after their coach getting fired. Which team do you think is competing under the most pressure?
That's probably who I would say. Probably LSU. LSU probably slightly over Alabama, staying in the SEC. But yeah, LSU with the whole Will Wade situation. Your coach being fired right during the middle of the tournament, and you probably had that kind of cloud over the program with the allegations and the investigation into the wrongdoings over the past few years. Now he gets fired right at tournament time. You get an assistant coach who's been there all along, but it's going to be a different voice and different decisions being made as far as rotations and game management stuff. So, and then you got to face a tough Iowa State team. It's probably a little underrated because it's a tough schedule that they got to play in the Big 12. So that's going to be pretty tough for LSU.
Good inside-out game with Iowa State with Isaiah Brockington and George Condit IV. They could be a real problem. I actually picked them to beat LSU in that 11-6 matchup.
Me too.
I think Duke will be the team competing under the most pressure throughout the entire tournament.
Honestly.
Because I mean it's Coach K's last season, but I'm gonna give you my final. Well, one I picked Duke anyway to win my whole thing, but I'm gonna go with Illinois because I picked them to go to the Final Four. I think they're the team competing under the most pressure. I talked about them competing, like you're trying to get that choker stink off of, from last year, losing to Loyola, also the loss in the Big Ten tournament. They haven't had their full assortment of players. I think, and then on top of that, a lot of people are picking Chattanooga. I mean, on the selection show, that was literally with Seth Davis. The first thing out his mouth, I got Chattanooga going to Sweet 16. So I think Illinois, obviously right behind Duke, who will have it the most, competing with the most pressure.
And to piggyback on your Duke thought, think about the Duke's game under pressure so far. Last game in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Everybody in the house losing North Carolina. Title game. Look, last title run in the ACC. You make it to the title game. You think you're gonna get it, Carolina. You can't refocus. You know what Banchero said after the game. He wanted it, North Carolina, but you get Virginia Tech. You can't focus up, so you lose his last game in Cameron. You lose his last ACC title game. And now, whenever there's a run by the other team, you're gonna have an announcer on the side saying, "Is these Coach K's last 10 minutes? Is this the last 5 minutes of Coach K's career? Is this the last 3 minutes of a great era coming to an end?" You're gonna be getting that every game, unless you're coming down with it.
Though. You be thinking that though. You be thinking that.
I mean, what all great announcers not gonna be thinking about that if they not coaching K. Look at this. They in the second round trying to take on Davidson or whatever. Bob McKillop is the person that ended Coach K's reign. That's the whole thing. You can be the team that knock out Coach K. They better be on their best behavior.
Let me ask you this then. This is the last doing the most. There are going to be 9 teams, 12 seed and lower, competing today. Do you think Cal State Fullerton is the team most likely to bust brackets today? Because that's who I got winning it all is Duke.
The most likely team to bust brackets today?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be a 12 seed or lower?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a 12 seed. That make it a little different.
Yeah, that makes. I mean, you can pick a 12-5. You can pick UAB or something. Pick UAB or something. Dude.
How about Colgate?
Okay. Over Wisconsin?
And Milwaukee at that. Colgate.
All right, so you picking them to beat Wisconsin basically in a home game.
I didn't pick St. Peter's yesterday, so I'm just throwing. I'm just throwing one in the dark.
How busted is your bracket off of that? How far did you have Kentucky going? I had them Sweet 16 to Purdue.
Yeah, I had them losing to Purdue. I had Kentucky losing to Purdue.
Hey, so you didn't lose out too bad. I know Sam. He was telling me that he had him going to the Final Four. That's tough.
Oh, that's tough.
That's tough.
Well, hey, Sam.
But as long as you still got the champion, dog. As long as you still got the champion, bro.
I tell Sam one thing he has in common with Kentucky. They were both brief. The stay was brief.
Don't do that, G. Yeah, don't do that.
Very brief. They tried to make it a little long with the overtime, but yeah, it was over with. Couldn't beat the
Hey, the funny
Peacocks.
thing, we be doing that on TV too. That's
I know
why I'm
y'all.
like,
I bet y'all.
hey, my team. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Wright State. That's my team most likely to bust brackets because I didn't pick any of them. I didn't pick any of these 12 or lowers today. So I'm gonna go with Wright State. If Tanner, like I said, if Tanner Holder can get 25 and Grant Basili can give him maybe 15 and they can hit some shots, I think they could give Arizona a bit of a run for their money, man. So that's who I think. So that's doing the most, man. Thank you for participating in doing the most, man. March Madness is gonna continue today, man. We're gonna get into day 2 of the tournament. I'm gonna let you go and we'll watch it. But before I do that, let's do some NBA, man. I kind of lied to my listeners. I said I was gonna talk NBA the other day and I didn't do it.
But, oh man, you can't even build trust with your fan base, Chris. What's going on? The celebrity stuff is just taking over. You're just making your own rules, making promises like a politician, and then going back on the public, promising stuff and not coming through.
And you know I like talking NBA on Fridays, man. But I mean, there wasn't really much going on yesterday. I mean, Sadiq Bey put up 51 in Detroit's 19th win of the season, and Detroit's 19th win of the season. So
what's up with Orlando?
Detroit, so Detroit beat Orlando in a game between two teams that were eliminated from the playoffs already in yesterday's game. So Detroit. But hey, what are your thoughts on Sadiq Bey? I mean, let's at least talk about him since he had 51 points.
I mean, he's probably like probably like the third best player on the team. To me, probably behind Cunningham and Grant.
Jeremy. Yeah.
And he's able to put up 51. I mean, he got hot. He made 10 threes last night. So he 10 out of 14 from three-point range. Had to get to the free throw line a little bit, and he got hot. Now, I don't know what's going on with Orlando's defense. Now, they give it up to everybody, I guess. Giving up consecutive 50-point games against people. I mean, what's going on with that? I mean,
they're the worst team in the league.
I mean, who do they play next?
I mean, what I'm saying.
I need to get on FanDuel and see who they play next. I mean, dang, bet extra.
I don't do that.
I am right. You ain't giving it up like that. Man, you giving it up, man. Yeah, giving it up.
I don't want to. You know what? Let me say something positive about Orlando. I like Cole Anthony.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna like Disney. I thought you were gonna like Disneyland.
No, I like Cole Anthony, man. I think Cole Anthony is really good. I thought earlier in the year he had a chance to be most improved player, but not so much with Orlando being the worst team in the league. They play OKC next, so I mean, if you got Josh Giddey, go ahead, bro.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's hurt, right?
I believe so, but like I said, go with Josh Giddey, man.
Hey, yeah, I might do that. All right.
Yeah, so for Orlando, by the way, to your point, 134 against Detroit, 150 to Brooklyn, 116 to Philly. That's not that bad. Hey, but they beat Minnesota. They only lost 3 in a row.
Yeah. A lot of stuff sandwiched in between that 3 in a row. A lot of stuff. They got a lot of 18 and 53. Yes.
What could turn this Orlando franchise around, dude? Because let's be real, that roster is oddly built with all those bigs, with like Wendell, Carter, Mo Bamba. It's like they got Cleveland, but it's not Cleveland.
I mean, you got a lot of young people. They need a
Markelle Fultz.
They need some type of veteran to build around. They got a lot of people here about 24 and 25 under. You know, you say Wagner, you got Fultz, you got Carter, you got Bamba, you got Suggs, you got Anthony, you got a lot of guards. You know, who the point guard of the future on this team?
You know who they remind me of? They remind me of those trust the process Sixers teams. Like right before. Remember those right before the trust the process Sixers teams where they would win like 8 or 9 games, and it was like everybody on this team is 25 or younger. Like, of course they losing.
Yeah, man, it's just a very, very young team. It's a talented team. You got Hampton, but they need some direction. So I think they need a couple of veterans on this team, but who wants to go to Orlando? I mean, the weather's great, but, you know, are you going to compete for anything? Probably not, you know. But who wants to go, like I said, who wants to go to Orlando?
Hey, man.
It's just a team that's going to be rebuilding for I don't know how many years.
You're not the only person who shares that sentiment. I remember watching The Shop last year. LeBron said, they asked LeBron, so nobody's going to Orlando? He was like, nobody's going to Orlando. So
exactly, he's right.
And he might go. I even said that. I agree with him.
He might go in a couple of years if Bronny like he got a chance going there. And he's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be where the weather nice. I know Bronny ain't gonna get picked by Miami.
What's the next step up for Detroit, man. They got Cade Cunningham. They got Jeremy Grant. Killian Hayes has been out. They got
Yeah,
Sadiq Bey.
baby.
That's a solid 3. That's a solid 3-and-D guy. So
That's a solid. I mean, that should be the three players. If I was Detroit, that I'd be trying to build around until next year. They had a lot of injuries. Cunningham started off kind of slow because he was injured with the ankle. And they had Jeremy Grant missed time with the wrist. But you really starting to see that team really starting to play together now. And they've lost some games against some top-notch talent. They lost to they lost to Boston, basically the same way they lost to the Bulls about 10 days ago. Leading the game for about 3 quarters, then not being able to finish. So you're starting to see Cunningham and Grant play off each other a little bit more with Bay added to that process. With Bagley also now being the stretch four, like he's going to get a nice look at now heading this lineup. So I think it's basically for them next year. They got a few pieces there, but it's really going to be, I think they're a little bit further along than Orlando because of the star power and versatility probably of a guy like Cunningham.
All right, and lastly, in the NBA talk, this injury really changed the landscape of the playoffs and also NBA MVP award. Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors out indefinitely, foot sprain. Yesterday, reports came out from the Warriors that they are optimistic that he could be back in time for the playoffs, but he will miss the remainder of the regular season. And with Stephen Curry out, what does this do? 1, the Golden State Warriors moving forward. 2, MVP race.
I mean, he wasn't my. That was your MVP. That's them people's opinions. That's Chris Rouse's opinion.
That's this man's views.
Yeah, that's that man's views. Those views is not shared by everybody on the Chris Rouse Show. But yeah, man, that's gonna be tough for Golden State.
This is why I got you on my first video show, man.
I mean, you got Golden State right now in the 3-hole right now. They trying to hold up Utah to 3.5 games in front of Utah.
I mean, first of all, how far do they fall in the standings? And 2, if Steph Curry is out for the rest of the regular season, I mean, how long do it take him to get acclimated and get back up to playoff speed with no games ready to get ready for the playoffs? He's gonna miss about 14 games. In Golden State, 47-23, they got 12 games left. So you say he's gonna miss the next 12. Who's to say how he comes back for that first round? And you might need him in that first round, depending on how far you fall in the standings. You're number 3 right now. You be playing Denver right now. You picking on Golden State, playing Denver without Steph? Will Steph compromise? Probably not.
It depends on the honestly, depends on if Porter and Murray are back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just saying, how is they're constructed right now? Because Wiseman is supposed to be coming back. We haven't seen him come back yet.
He's playing. He's playing in the G League. He had 15 and 7 the other day in the G League against the Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario.
I would not pick Golden State to beat Denver without Steph Curry.
Okay.
They might win a game. Might can win 2. Jordan Poole's been playing great. Klay Thompson. But we're talking about Steph Curry. You're not about Chef Curry. Chef Curry. Chef freaking Curry.
Hey, you said that was my MVP pick, and you're right. You damn right. That's been my MVP pick all year. But I think with him out, he missed these final 2 weeks of the season. I think you can see Embiid. I think it's going to be Embiid. If Steph doesn't play again the rest of the year, I think it'll go to Joel Embiid. The reason why I say that is because Golden State has been without Draymond Green, and they've been without Klay. But I thought with Klay out, Steph had, and Andrew Wiggins was an all-star this year. I know that had a lot more to do with fan vote, but he also, he looked good playing next to Steph. Otto Porter looks much better playing next to Steph Curry. All of these guys, they look great playing next to Steph Curry. That's why he's been my MVP all year. But if he doesn't play the rest of the season, I see it going to Joel Embiid. For the Warriors, without Steph, I think, honestly, 3.5 games left with about, 15 left, I can see them holding Utah off. I can see them hold the Jazz off. But if they don't, I don't see them falling any further than 4. So at worst, you'll see them going up against maybe Dallas or Denver in the first round. I think they could beat Denver. If they get Wiseman, I think they could beat Denver with maybe, if not beat them, give them 6 or 7 games. It just depends on if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are there. But I think Golden State, I trust Golden State more against Denver than I would against maybe a Dallas or maybe against a Utah.
Yeah, I would get Denver. Against Denver, I'd probably give them about 6 with Wiseman.
You say 6 with Wiseman?
I mean, they can go to 6. Pick Denver in 6, I would.
And Wiseman, he's still trying to get his game timing down. I saw his G League games. He's still getting his game timing down. But he looked good. He had 15 to 7 the other day. He was getting to the basket. He was blocking shots. So that's what you want to see if you're Golden State. I thought that was a good look. I thought that was a good look for the Warriors. But I mean, the real reason why I wanted to bring the MVP conversation up with Steph Curry is because also, man, I just want to open it up a little bit, man. Where some of these other guys fit in your MVP talk? Ja Morant, Nikola Jokic. I know you said Embiid is your pick, but DeMar DeRozan. What about some of those guys?
I mean, Jokic would be right behind Embiid for me. I don't know how much he gained on him the other day. They both played pretty well. Denver did come out with the win in Philadelphia. Just because you said without Murray and without Porter Jr., I mean, those guys can really score the ball, but he's still finding a way to put up 8 assists a game as the best rebounder and the best scorer on that team. People talk about how unathletic he is, but that just makes him more impressive with what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So he's still my number 2. I don't know if DeRozan is still my number 3. I mean, the Bulls have fallen back a little bit here. He might be my 4. Steph might be my Steph.
Man, you got Steph down the ladder. Steph down
I don't have him down the ladder. I mean, I think Steph would probably be my 4 or 3 because of the way DeRozan is falling off. But it's such a fluid situation. You can't overlook it. So now it becomes the Giannis and Morant part of it. And I have Giannis probably slightly ahead of Morant, but that part is 3 through 6 is still murky now because now you're finna have Steph miss games. You don't already have Morant miss a nice bulk of games. Giannis hasn't missed any games really, so his consistency and what he's been doing is still kind of pretty impressive. And where Milwaukee finishes might play a part in that.
I think Joel Embiid with Steph out, I think Joel Embiid will win it. Yeah, I think he's proven it all year. And I've said that he's proven it all year. I mean, Philadelphia has been the worst stretch Philadelphia had was when he had COVID earlier in the year. So I think that'll prove it for him. And then on top of that, I think he's the hot pick. He's the hot pick going into the end of the year. So I think he'll get it.
If I got DeRozan, I don't want to put it all on him. I don't want to make it seem like I'm putting it all on him. But the Bulls' record against like the heavyweight teams, the better teams in the league, has not been that impressive.
Not good at all. No, not good at all.
We was talking about winning 2 out of 3 on this road trip, huh?
We're from Chicago. We see these games. It's not been good at all.
We were looking to win 2 out of 3 at least on this road trip here in this West Coast swing. And what do? We come out lackadaisical and get our ass whipped by the Kings. Before the Jazz has us singing the blues a couple of nights later with Donovan Mitchell's career performance from 3-point land. So now what do? We limp into the desert tonight, hoping to salvage one, hoping we don't go 0-3. I mean, we know Phoenix is a well-oiled machine, but yeah, the Bulls haven't looked good against top-notch competition. No, they haven't looked good when Philly's been fully constructed.
And honestly, you playing Phoenix, that team shows no mercy. They care not who they are playing. They will blow you out in a hurry because they want to rest. They went to the finals last year. They trying to get back. They ain't got time to be playing with you for 4 quarters. They want to blow you out early, get some rest, get on to the next game. They want to blow you out early, get those guys at the back of the bench some valuable in-game minutes so they can be ready for the playoffs, and then get on to the next game. So you have to play. You have to play against Phoenix.
So not saying it's all on him, but that's going to fall at some of the feet of DeMar DeRozan when I start thinking about MVP talk.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I agree with you in the fact that I don't think it's all on him because obviously the injuries, but also the Bulls defense has been really bad all year.
It's been optional.
It's been really optional this year. Like but you know what the thing about that is with the Bulls? When they win, it looks good because it's a fast-breaking brand of basketball. They're hitting threes. The fun is back at the Madhouse on Madison. It's all of that. But when they lose, it's like, damn, bro, you gave up 131 and 140 and like it's like damn, dude.
It's time to start beating some people, man. I mean, don't go beat New Orleans by 15. Have me feeling all good because everybody because DeMar got 30 and Zach got 30 and Kobe shot this and got 20 and then stink it up when you got to play Utah and Phoenix and Milwaukee and good teams and shit.
Feed Vucevic, man. He was playing great against Detroit. That game they played at Detroit recently where they were just giving him the ball inside. Feed Vucevic a little bit more. Like, look, man, I understand, man, you don't want to get guys hurt and, you know, you gotta develop to him on the inside because that's what you're going to see in the playoffs. You're going to see Joel Embiid. You're going to see Giannis. You're going to see some of those guys on Boston who are physical. It's going to be a tough playoffs, man. This is going to be a fun Eastern Conference. And, like, I really want to see the Bulls develop their interior a little bit more in these last few games. Anyway, I'm going to let you have your final thoughts. Go ahead.
My final thoughts is, man, everybody just continue to enjoy the madness, continue to enjoy the hysteria, which is March Madness. Man, it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. I was happy that Michigan and North Carolina get through. And we'll see if Loyola make it through. I guess I'll be rooting for the Ramblers in this first game against Ohio State and then hoping Illinois do their thing later on, man. It's a wonderful ride, man. This wonderful, wonderful ride.
And also, by the way, man, Joe with Joe Morning Show coming up on Monday, man. We'll have that on the Students of the Game page, also on the Joseph Gregory Facebook page, man. Joe with Joe Monday, man. What can we expect on Joe with Joe Monday, man? I'm going to be technical producing for you, so what we doing, man?
We definitely gonna be paying attention how Dallas has been going through the East. You know what I'm saying? Spencer Dinwiddie with big shots in Boston and Brooklyn. I know they got a game coming up against Philly. They've been looking pretty good rolling through the East. Is it time? Is this Doncic's time that he get out the first round coming up in the playoffs? It's a prelude to something bigger for the Mavericks. And how about Devontae Adams? How about your boy? How about your boy going to Vegas? You know, the NFL just keeps on turning and churning and churning. I know Rob, the reflex right now is on cloud 9, so I don't know where he at. But Chandler Jones, you got Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams in a week in the AFC West, like it's gonna be cracking. And of course, we're gonna be talking about who's making the Sweet 16 and who bracket is really busted. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. Monday.
And shout out to our good brother Justin Adams, man. Texas Southern did win in the first 4. I picked that.
That's right.
Thank you, Texas Southern. I mean, you know, we saw what happened to them with Kansas yesterday, but, you know, they got the first 4 win. That's all that matters, man.
And Texas A&M won their first NIT game.
Who won?
Texas A&M without the Corpus Christi.
Okay, all right, let's go. Aggies, there you go. I mean, Notre Dame.
I mean, he's got Houston playing tonight. He should be all right.
But all the last 4 teams, you know what I know is all the last 4 N teams won. Like Michigan, Notre Dame, like they won.
But Notre Dame won their first game, so this is the real game for Notre Dame today when they play Alabama.
But I'm saying, like, they earned it.
That was a hell of a game, also. That was a hell of a game.
Notre Dame Rutgers? Yeah, it was.
Hell of a game.
But for Joseph Gregory at Joe Stuff 710, I'm Chris Rouse, right there at Chris Rouse Show. This has been episode 2, my video debut of the Chris Rouse Show, man. Thanks again, Joe. Yeah, thanks again, Joe, for tuning in, man. This has been episode 2. Salute to you and salute to y'all for listening, man. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy March Madness, man. Let the madness continue.